Boys and girls, I'm so happy to be here with you celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm Mrs. Johnson, and I was born in Cuba. I think that you recognize this flag. Maybe some of you have seen this in your own homes, but you've certainly seen it in the community. And it's so exciting to be celebrating with you and sharing with you one of my favorite parts about not just being Cuban, but also being Catholic. How many of you recognize Our Lady of Charity? Do you know her story? It's a beautiful story of love and devotion and trust. So let me tell you a little bit about Our Lady of Charity. Many, many years ago, in the 1600s, that's more than 400 years ago, there were three young men, two who were maybe Native American and were brothers, and one young African boy who went to search for salt in the salt marshes in the Bay of Nipe. And a big storm came up upon them, and they were scared. And sometimes we get scared when there are storms and we hear the thunder and the lightning. And so they became very afraid, and they thought, oh, what is going to happen to us? So they prayed. And they prayed to our Blessed Mother, our Mother in Heaven, Mary. And she came to their rescue. You know what happened? The storm calmed down and the children were saved. And as they were out on the boat saying their thanks to God and to Mary for coming to their help, they felt something hitting the side of the boat. And when they looked out into the water, what they discovered was a little statue just about this size, and she was strapped to a piece of board, and on it it said, Soy Nuestra Señora de la Caridad. I am the Lady of Charity. And you know, boys and girls, charity means love. And she loved them so much that she was with them as they were scared in the storm. So these boys brought that statue back home with them, and they made a beautiful little hut made with some palm fronds, and they put the statue there to venerate. And now you understand that when we venerate, it means that we look at something as special, especially because this was a very special miracle that came from God through Mary. So the boys started to pray and to ask for Mary's intercession as this little statue of Our Lady of Charity. And the devotion grew throughout Cuba, and that statue traveled south to Santiago, and it came back up to Nipe, and the statue was moved around as the story of Mary's intercession for these boys grew. And don't you know that that became a cultural and national and very faith-filled event, not just for the boys in their community, but for all of Cuba, who today still venerates Our Lady of Charity. And so if you'd like to see more about this story, maybe you've been to La Ermita de la Caridad, the shrine that is in Bayside for Our Lady of Charity, and you can go visit there, and maybe you could take some yellow flowers to celebrate Mary's love for us.